Jahmyr Gibbs going to be the main focal point of the Detroit Lions running game come Sunday.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of touches. They're gonna and not stray away from what they do best, is what he said. Like we're going to stick to what we do best. We're going to stick to our offensive line. They believe in him as a between the tackles runner, even if Easy doesn't. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get a lot of touches. I expect him to be used obviously between the tackles, but they're still going to get him out and do some things that he does well, where you get him out on the outside, get him out of the backfield with a quick screenplay or different things like that. But we'll see. This is going to be a big game for Jahmyr Gibbs going against a great defense that is very good at stopping the run, that tackles very well, has great linebackers. So we're going to see what Jahmyr Gibbs can do, and I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the kid to get the boatload of touches, to get the bulk share in the backfield, and I'm ready to see what he can do.
Yeah, I found myself, I think I was like, I don't know the word I'm looking for. I just had built up anticipation, just see him back on the field, and I had like high hopes for him. But then in all reality, this Ravens defense is right up there with the Detroit Lions in stopping the run. And Jahmyr Gibbs isn't David Montgomery, so I'm not expecting a big game by any means, but he's definitely, like Dan Kimball said, they're going to still take the snaps and the runs between the tackles just to keep the defense honest. I know a lot of people were bitching about that when Jahmyr was in the game against Atlanta, but it's like you have to run those plays to open up the other plays that otherwise every time he gets the ball, he's running outside every single time. You know what I'm saying? So you have to run between the tackles, but he's going to be up against it, man. This Ravens defense is tough. It's a tough one against the run. Patrick Queen plays the run really well. Obviously, Roquan Smith does everything really well. And then they also have that defensive tackle, Mutabuke, I want to say his last name, been killing it all year, both in the pass rush and the run game. So don't forget about Davion Clowney on the line too. So he's going to be up against it. I mean, if you had to make a stat prediction for him, for anybody like betting touchdowns or anything like that, yardage, what would you put on that?
I'm a stat prediction. I'll say 19 carries, 81 yards, and a touchdown. I think he's going to break one. I think he'll have a big gainer, a 30, 40 plus carry.
How many yards you said? Total?
81, and then he'll get 3-4 catches, 35 yards.
That's why I'm more curious to see how he's going to be utilized like there. And like you said, you said all the time, like, as an extension of the run game, just because, let's be real about Jahmyr Gibbs, he's just better in space. And you're going to have to give him the ball in those type of situations to see that. Those Texas routes, all that stuff in the flats. I'm probably going to go I'll go a little bit less in the yardage, probably 60s. I wouldn't count a touchdown out of the question, because
he's going to get a touchdown.
He could have had one against the KC Chiefs. I think he had an opportunity against the Falcons too, but they put the bigger body guys in there once it came to that time. Which again, I think even with in Alabama, I know I had the numbers, only 39 carries inside the tackles, but also at the 5-yard line, I believe it was even less than that. I want to say it was like 12 or maybe even 9. I have to pull it up. It's in my phone somewhere, but I probably wouldn't bet it, but I can see it happening. I'm not taking it out of the question. Nick?
Yeah, I think this is a big Ben Johnson game for Gibbs to help him to find that space, like you said. But I'm kind of thinking 65 rushing, 35 receiving. He's going to be a huge piece in this game to keep that Ravens defense honest. So I'm thinking 110 total yards and a tutty.
Yeah, I'm probably around like 65. That sounds like right about right. You gotta factor in that this Ravens defense against the run especially does pretty well. Although I did look at the teams that beat them, and you go back to that Colts game, Zach Moss had like 122 yards on just 30 attempts there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously two different human beings. But Zach Moss kind of a speedster too.
Zach Moss is kind of a speedster, but he's also a bigger guy. So,
yeah.
But I expect Jahmyr Gibbs to have some success. Like I said, this is a good defense when it comes to stopping the run especially, but I think he's going to break one, man. With his explosiveness, with the strength of the offensive line, they're going to create a seam for him. He's going to hit that seam. He's going to take one for a big gainer.
They're kind of same size, 5'9", 205 for Moss. Jahmyr Gibbs 5'9", too, right?
Yeah.
And he's like just under 100 or 200, I mean. Yeah, I mean, it's always possible with a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs. Obviously, he's super explosive. When you watch the tape, when you sold yourself on it as a Detroit Lions fan, you watch that Alabama tape, you see the patience. That was something I loved a lot, especially with this elite offensive line he has in front of him, Detroit Lions. Like, you're gonna be able to be patient because they're great at what they do. And then obviously the explosiveness when he finally does make that decision. So I'm not counting that out of the question. It's just Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen makes you a little bit more nervous, but it can happen. It can happen. What do you think is more likely to happen, that 80 yards or the touchdown?
The touchdown.
Yeah.
The touchdown. I think it's almost a lock that he gets a touchdown this week. They're going to be using him a lot. And again, I think I have a really good authority that this is going to happen. And the authority is I smell it in the air. I smell it. It might just still be Gentry's seat, but I smell it.
Yeah, what was
That shit
that was wild.
That shit was so funny.
Were you high?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was laughing so hard.
It makes it a little bit worse. I know. I had to text Ninja like, dude, mute this guy.
But
What?
I expect him to break one. I don't know what it is. He's going to be getting a lot of touches, and with this offensive line, you're going to see one where, Frank bull rushes the defensive tackle over. Glasgow gets up to that second level, takes on Patrick Queen or Roquan Smith, and the lane opens up, and Gibbs shoots off like a bottle rocket. I expect him to get a big
How about this?
gainer.
Where do you think is to be more deadly in this game? In the run game or his passing catching abilities?
The run game. I think he's going to be used more.
Like I'm saying, like more, I guess, explosive or more dangerous.
The run game.
The run game?
Yeah.
I'm going passing. Just because when I look at this, and I mean, we got the matchup segment coming up next too, like what matchups are you looking forward to in this game? I don't want to dive too much into that, but I feel like a lot of the guys that the Ravens use for pass protection, not pass protection, but in the passing game, are probably going to be locked up because Detroit Lions have weapons all over the place. I think it's free up Jahmyr a little bit, just a little bit. I'm going passing. Nick?
Yeah, I think he's just going to...
Or as a receiver, I should say.
Yeah, I agree with the receiver. I think Ben Johnson and Jared Goff are finally going to find him on one of those wheel routes that we've been waiting so long to see. So I think he'll get like a 20, 25-yarder in a big situation on a wheel route pattern.
Yeah, and he had that one he dropped in Seattle, too. Like, I feel like obviously people are a lot of... I don't even know the word for it, but a lot of people kind of upset with like his usage or like his lack of like explosion when he has gotten the ball. But I think a lot of people are forgetting when they're trying to like throw him in like the trash bin or bus bin or whatever type of categorize you want to put him in that's anything but positive. He dropped that big one against Seattle. And if he would have caught that, none of these things would have been in conversation. None of them at all. And I feel like one of those is coming for sure.
And he slipped on the touchdown he had
against
Kansas City. Like, he's got the opportunities there, and like I said, I expect him to take full advantage of these opportunities that he's been going to be given in this Baltimore game. I expect him to have a great game. Let me tell you guys about Woodward Nights. Woodward Nights. Make sure you tune in Monday through Friday, every weekday, 8 to 10 p.m. It's Booner and Broder for Woodward Nights. Our guy Nick is their full-time sound guy, so make sure you see more of the mustache in the booth on Woodward Nights.
I want it.
Anytime touchdown props for Detroit Lions. I know it's not on the sheet, but if I had to pick one, obviously Samuel Laporta, right? He's got to be number one. No?
Sammy Potts over Saint?
Yeah.
I think Josh Reynolds is going to get one.
Josh Reynolds?
I think Josh Reynolds is going to get one because I think when they get in the red zone, I think Marlon Humphrey is going to be on Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I was wondering that too, and I know we have the matchup segment's coming up next, who I think Humphrey's going to be on. I'm gonna stick with my guy Sammy Potts.
Yeah,
I mean
he's gonna moss Kyle Hamilton.
He might have the most receiving touchdowns.
Kyle Hamilton's mouth.
Nice. I don't know about that.
Fuck Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, I'm probably going Sammy Potts touchdown. Chris, Nick.
I would go Samuel Laporta. I mean, he's just like a big tight end like that, and is just a easy red zone target. So I think that when you get it to first and goal, second and goal, whatever, and you don't run it in. You're going for a little play action. You hit Sam Laporta. That's to me the most conceivable one. But that's the beauty of this offense. You don't know where you're going to get it. You just know you're getting it.
You know what? I'm going to go out of the box with this one. I'm going deep ball J-Mo. He extends. He breaks this game loose on a pass early, and it's going to open up the momentum for the Lions. And I put a slight bet in earlier. For first touchdown, J-Mo.
Okay.
So
first touchdown, J-Mo?
Yes, first one.
Three-way tie, by the way, 2 touchdown leaders in Detroit Lions receiving.
60-yarder.
Reynolds, Laporta, and St. Brown. So
I think Josh Reynolds is going to get one.